Sure, as you're thinking about this and you're sort of thinking about different artists and their motivations, when you're talking about Lucas and Star Wars being his work, to what extent, as you're thinking about this, do you think about other people involved in especially the visual aspect, Ralph McQuarrie and other kind of production artists and things like that? How does that change being collaborative work?
A lot. I think about it all the time. I use Lucas often as a shorthand. But I understand that any film is a collaborative project. One of the things that's this film, you sort of get introduced in that little bit about how much I talk about Kubrick and 2001. And one of the really interesting things about 2001 is how sexist it is. That the women in the film are stewardesses. This is premiering in 1968. And that's the time in, I don't know if anyone's read Gail Collins' book, When Everything Changed, which is her book about the women's movement from 1964. That's when everything changed. And in there, she picks out, and one of the main stories she tells is about stewardesses, and about the awful sexual harassment they faced, and the fact that they were held up, they're essentially treated like bait, like prostitutes. They were expected to be gorgeous and thin and dressed in all these goofy, tiny outfits. One airline dressed the stewardesses in disposable paper costumes, like dolls. They weren't allowed to be married. As soon as they found out you got married, you could be fired. If you gained 15 pounds, you could be fired. On and on and on. And the first suit brought to the first complaint when the new laws for the workplace laws, the civil rights laws, in '72, the first people who walked in the door were stewardesses. And it was expected, it was a civil rights law, so they were expecting it was like all these young black lawyers unpacking their files and so on, and they were expecting to take on some jerk in the South, and in walks two Barbie doll blondes. And they say, we've got a case for you. That's Kubrick's story. He didn't. In the future, we're still going to have those young women serving us steaks and cigars. It was going to be great.